President Buhari. Male medic caught in an illicit affair with a female nurse in Kenya's hospital. Japanese man set himself on fire in protest against state funeral for Chinzo Abe. Now the news in full. In Nigeria, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, has raised hopes that the ongoing face-off between the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, and the federal government will soon be amicably resolved. Speaking with newsmen in Abuja after a 4-hour closed-door meeting called at the instance of the House leadership with the President of ASU, Professor Emmanuel Osokede, and the Minister of State for Education, Goodluck Opiah, in attendance, Gbajabiamila said they have made very good progress. He pointed out that the National Information Technology Development Agency, the Accountant General, Auditor General, and the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission will be invited tomorrow on the matter. A Kenyan-based male doctor operating in a private hospital was left with an egg on his face after he was caught having an illicit affair with a nurse in the hospital washroom. Information gathered has it that the two were having a clandestine affair for some time, and at one point the doctor's wife stormed the facility and caused a scene demanding that the nurse keeps off her husband. The man threatened his wife that he was going to take in the single mother of two as his second wife, something that angered his wife the more. The distressed wife, who swore that she would do everything possible to protect her territories, quickly sought the services of the herbalist, Mr. Wema Kamaliza, who laid the trap for the two lovebirds. Barely a few days after she executed the plan, the two lovebirds on their usual evil mission got stuck in the hospital's washrooms while making love late in the evening. Few minutes after the nurse handed over the shift to her colleague and the doctor had just reported for a night shift, the drama attracted scores of people, including patients, colleagues, and support staff who thronged the hospital's washroom to witness the rare encounter. After 3 hours long negotiations, the two were separated from the agony. Ethiopia has rejected a report by UN investigators that accused Addis Ababa of possible ongoing crimes against humanity in its war-torn Tigray region, including using starvation as a weapon. The Commission of Human Rights expert on Ethiopia said it had found evidence of widespread violations by all sides since fighting erupted in Tigray nearly 2 years ago. This included the government of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, a Nobel laureate, and its ally who were alleged for intentionally causing great suffering by denying aid to Tigray, a region of 6 million. Kari Betty Murungi, one of the Commission's 3 independent rights experts and chair, said the denial of the food, medicine, and biggest services was having a devastating impact on the civilian population. Meanwhile, Ethiopia's permanent representative to the UN in Geneva, Senebe Kedebe, said the Commission was politically motivated and their conclusions were self-contradictory and biased. This is the World at Noon, coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation. Ilia Uye Okebale of Shubo, Voice of the West. Now a mid-news message. You may not have been responsible for your heritage, but you are responsible for your future. Beware of what you do today. Russian President Vladimir Putin has announced a partial military mobilization aimed at protecting Russia's sovereignty and integrity. According to information, Putin, in his first national address since authorizing the special military operation in Ukraine in February, restated that the liberation of the entire territory of Donbass remains the unchanging goal. He accused the West of trying to weaken, divide, and destroy Russia. Putin called on the Russian government to immediately solve the problem of financial support for the defense industry to increase the production of weapons. However, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu said that Putin's decree will see about 300,000 additional personnel call up to serve in Russia's military campaign in Ukraine. A Japanese man has reportedly set himself ablaze in front of Prime Minister Fumio Kishida's office to protest against the state funeral to be held next week for slain Chinzo Abe. Information has it that the man in question set himself on fire in the early hours of today and was subsequently taken to the hospital with burn injuries. to his entire body. The man, who has not been named, was initially unconscious when he was being taken to the hospital, while the police officer who tried to extinguish the flames also sustained injuries. Meanwhile, opposition to the state funeral of Habe, who was shot dead in July, has been growing about revelations emerged on links between the Liberal Democratic Party and the Unification Church. Report says the man later regained consciousness and had soaked himself in inflammable materials before setting himself alight. About 230 whales have been stranded on Tasmania's west coast, just days after 14 sperm whales were found in beach on an island off the southeastern coast. The Department of Natural Resources and Environment in Tasmania stated that the pod, which is stranded on Ocean Beach, appear to be pilot whales, and at least half are presumed to still be alive. The department explained that a team from the Marine Conservation Program was assembling whale rescue gear and heading to the area. A resident told newsmen in Australia that the whales were visible near the entrance of Mackay Harbour and described the stranding as a massive event. And here again are the highlights of the world at noon. In Nigeria, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, has raised hope that the ongoing face-off between the academic staff of University ASU and the federal government will soon be amicably resolved. A Kenyan-based male doctor operating in a private hospital was left with an egg on his face after he was caught munching a nurse in the washroom. A Japanese man has reportedly set himself ablaze in front of Prime Minister Fumi Kishinda's office to protest against the state funeral to be held next week for the slain Shinzo Abe. And that was the world at noon, edited by Nathaniel Oyegoke and delivered by Adeniyi Kende. Today's news talk, written by Adeboye Popola, gives accolade to the agitation of a cross-section of Nigerian youth against the move by INEC to disenfranchise them in the 2023 general election, and describe the action taken to redress the wrong as a milestone to political education in the country. Political sovereignty in democratic government is referred to the authority to rule granted by the electorate to elected persons who are responsible directly or indirectly to them. Sovereignty, therefore, is a power to decide who occupies the position of decision-making at a given time and over a specified period of time by the electorates. Political sovereignty is exercised by the electorates during elections into political offices when the assessment of government is carried out by voters in different classes and groups. The electorate are therefore the drivers and force in driving democracy governance. In view of this, the report recently of a litigation by 7 million Nigerians against the Independent National Electoral Commission, who are currently experiencing hardship to complete their registration online, is a milestone to political education in the country. The agitation of the Nigerians to defend and ensure the process of upholding their political sovereignty is not thwarted by an electoral body is a prediction of an enduring and viable democratic culture in Nigerians' politics. It is also an expression that Nigerian youths are catching up to international political revolutions which make the executive power mafias. Youths are avant-garde in the changing systems and a force in purging the political system of decay and worn-out politicians plaguing the political platform with stereotypes, ethnic dogmatism. It is high time the Nigerian youth rose up to ascend their rightful pride position in the country's political affairs. The year 2023 is just a stone thrown in a distance from now. The reaction of a cross-section of Nigerian youths to INEC subtlety to disenfranchise them in large numbers in the national elections next year should be amplified by aggressive mobilization of their colleagues who are still indifferent to a political revolution of power transformation in the country. The electoral body in the country is being expected to awake, re-engineered and restructured to meet the need of renaissance
democratic register of the country. The administrative procedures of INEC for specific periods for carrying out the registration of voters for the general election slated for next year should take cognizance of its technology deployed to pursue the scheme. It is important for INEC to understand the significance of political sovereignty of the electorate for sustainable democracy in any clime. Therefore, the electoral body is cautioned of taking decisions capable of bringing it to collision with Nigerian electorate. It is on the strength of ensuring seamless election that accommodates the rights of Nigerians in their diverse communities that News Talk is calling on INEC to elongate all the activities for registration and capturing electoral data of the electorate for the 2023 general elections.
That News Talk lauded the agitation by Nigerian youth against the move by INEC to disenfranchise them in the 2023 general election and described action taken to redress the wrong as a milestone to political education in the country. The piece was written by Adeboye Okbuola of our news desk. For more about us, you can visit www.osbcng.org. Thanks so much for listening to The World at Noon. Good afternoon.